Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when silence is more powerful than speech, but there are also moments when words, spoken with clarity and intention, become a form of awakening. Today, this moment is not a coincidence. It is a calling. You did not arrive here by chance. Something within you is being stirred, something that refuses to remain dormant. You have heard the whispers, you have felt the tension between who you are and who you are destined to become. And now, life is giving you a message: get ready. We do not prepare because we are afraid of the future. We prepare because we recognize the sacred responsibility of being chosen, not chosen by others, but chosen by life, by struggle, by pain, by truth itself. The ones who carry more are the ones meant to carry light. The ones who endure more are the ones forged to lead. You are not broken, you are being sculpted. You are not late, you are being aligned, and what awaits you is not uncertain. It is inevitable if you are fully ready. This is not a speech, this is a mirror, and today I invite you to look beyond the surface of your circumstances and into the silent power that has always lived inside of you. The future does not come to the prepared, it is created by them. That is not just a motivational line, it is a principle embedded in the structure of reality itself. Too often people sit and wait, hoping that time, fate, or opportunity will knock at their door. But the truth is far more demanding. The future does not respond to the passive, it bows to those who are active participants in shaping it. Many people confuse preparation with passivity. They think reading another book, watching another video, waiting for another sign means they are preparing. But true preparation is never idle. True preparation has a pulse. It is movement, it is action, it is creation in real time. You don't get ready for the future by simply learning more. You get ready by becoming more. And becoming more takes practice, pain, persistence, and precision. The world has never rewarded potential. It rewards proof, and proof is the life you live, the habits you execute, the choices you make when no one is watching. Chosen ones do not wait for the future to unfold. They fold the future into today's actions. Every thought that is disciplined, every emotion that is mastered, every excuse that is silenced, those are the bricks used to construct your tomorrow. The person who understands this truth begins to live differently. They no longer chase outcomes. They embody alignment. They don't hope for clarity. They create it through disciplined daily action. They don't fantasize about success. They commit to becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts it through who they are and how they live. The future, in this sense, is not a distant event. It is a mirror that reflects your current inner structure. Think about the archer. Before the arrow flies, the aim is already set. Before the target is pierced, the posture must be grounded. And before the string is released, the tension must be held with purpose. That is the chosen one's path. The moment you step into that level of intentionality, you are no longer just preparing. You are participating in your own unfolding. Preparation without commitment is like sharpening a sword you never intend to swing. It looks noble from the outside, but it is hollow inside. The world does not bend to those who simply want asterisk. It bends to those who act asterisk, who embody asterisk, who align asterisk. You want to be ready, stop preparing and start creating. Stop anticipating and start aligning. There is no secret door to the future. There is only the reality you build in the unseen spaces of your everyday life. People admire the results of the chosen, but they rarely study the roots. The roots are hidden in the morning routines, the solitude, the sacrifices, the broken days when you show up anyway. That's where the future is forged, not in front of a crowd, not under the spotlight, but in the invisible furnace of consistent inner work. That's where the gap between who you are and who you must become begins to close. Creation is not a luxury for the chosen, it is a necessity. You do not have the option to stay idle, because stagnation is the enemy of destiny. In this world, if you're not creating the future, you are automatically becoming a product of someone else's. And if you are chosen, you don't fit into systems. You design them. You don't repeat what is safe. You redefine what is possible. That power is not given. It is earned through discipline, intention, and courage. There will always be fear before creation. Always be resistance before transformation. But the chosen one understands that fear is just a signal that you're approaching the edge of growth. And if you stop there, you stay ordinary. If you push through, you enter the dimension where the future begins to respond to you. Not because of your words, not because of your dreams, but because of the internal work you've done when no applause was given. Preparation is not enough. It never was. You can read every book, attend every seminar, and listen to every podcast. But if you do not translate knowledge into movement, into application, into identity, then nothing changes. You can prepare forever and still be paralyzed. But when you decide to create, even if it's small, even if it's uncertain, you begin to turn invisible ideas into visible results. You begin to make the future real. The chosen are not waiting for the right time. They are not hoping someone sees their value. They are not expecting miracles. They know that the miracle is them, their clarity, their mindset, their repetition, their discipline. They don't need the world to open doors. They build doors. They don't need a perfect plan. They need a consistent path. That's the mindset that builds the future, not by accident, but by design. Endurance is the signature of those chosen to lead, not follow. Not talent, not motivation, not even opportunity. Endurance. The quiet force that keeps you standing when others collapse, that keeps you moving when the way is unclear, and that separates the ones who wish from the ones who walk. People misunderstand greatness. They think it's made in grand decisions, public moments, loud victories. But the truth is, greatness is built in silent endurance, in how long you can keep going when nothing around you is giving you a reason to continue. You see, anyone can begin. Beginnings are easy. Beginnings are full of energy, emotion, hype, and excitement. But the ones who are truly chosen, the ones called to lead, understand that beginnings mean nothing if you don't have the endurance to finish. And finishing is not about the final moment, it's about the thousands of moments before it when you felt tired, uncertain, unseen, and still moved forward. Endurance is not glamorous. It doesn't look good on social media. It doesn't get instant applause. It's the discipline to keep showing up when the passion is gone. It's the decision to keep speaking truth when nobody's listening. It's the strength to keep walking your path when it feels like the world has forgotten your name. That's the test, that's the mark, and only the chosen pass it. You don't become a leader because you are loud. You become a leader because you carry weight that would crush others. You hold responsibility when it would be easier to run. You choose truth over comfort, growth over safety, clarity over popularity. And every time you endure, you are not just surviving, you are transforming. You are being carved into someone who leads not by force, but by example. Not by words, but by presence. There will be seasons where nothing makes sense, where every door stays shut, every effort feels unseen, and every outcome appears delayed. These are not the seasons to escape. These are the seasons to endure, because what you do in delay determines what you carry in your destiny. If you quit in the fire, you miss the purification. If you stop in the valley, you never learn to climb. Endurance is the furnace where the chosen are refined. Every great leader was once unseen. Every strong tree was once buried under dirt. But while others rot under pressure, the chosen ones root. They absorb the silence. They grow through the darkness. They stretch deeper into discipline. That's why, when their time comes, they don't just rise, they rise unshakable. Not because they avoided pain, but because they endured it long enough for it to build something unbreakable inside. Endurance trains your mind to stay calm under chaos. It conditions your emotions to remain grounded under pressure. It teaches your body to push past its limits, not recklessly, but with calculated strength. This is not about suffering for the sake of suffering. This is about understanding that strength is never given, it is earned through persistence that outlasts opposition. People want shortcuts, they want hacks, they want to bypass the grind, but you cannot microwave mastery. You cannot rush leadership. You cannot inherit resilience. You must build it step by step, fall by fall, hour by hour. Endurance does not mean you never get tired. It means you refuse to let fatigue decide your future. It means you remember your mission even when your feelings forget. It means you keep your pace, not because it's easy, but because it's essential. The chosen are never the ones who never feel like giving up. They are the ones who feel it deeply and still don't. That's the difference. That's what separates leaders from followers. Anyone can act strong when everything is working, but when everything breaks and you remain rooted, that's endurance. That's leadership. That's the evidence that you're built from something different. Leadership is not inherited. It's not appointed. It's proven in moments when giving up was the logical choice, but you chose differently. In moments when people walked away, but you stayed. In moments when your own mind doubted you, but your spirit wouldn't quit. That's the true journey. It's not loud, it's not always visible, but it is powerful. Because every step taken in silent endurance echoes louder than 1,000 empty shouts. Alignment with purpose requires silence, discipline, and detachment. In a world full of noise, speed, and endless distraction, alignment doesn't happen by accident. It's not something you stumble into. It is something you cultivate through conscious effort and internal clarity. Purpose is not just found. It is remembered, buried deep under years of conditioning, fear, and noise. To align with it, you must be willing to step away from the world's expectations and sit in the uncomfortable quiet of your own truth. Most people are not out of alignment because they're lost. They are out of alignment because they are too connected to everything but themselves. They are overstimulated by opinions, comparison, fear, and urgency. When your mind is filled with the noise of what everyone else is doing, saying, or achieving, your own voice becomes almost impossible to hear. And yet the chosen ones, the ones marked for something greater, they understand that silence is not absence, it is presence, it is the environment in which clarity is born. You will not hear your calling in chaos. You will not find your direction through distraction. Alignment demands silence because silence makes space. Space for awareness, space for reflection, space for inner truth to rise to the surface. When you silence the outer world, the inner world starts to speak. And what it says will often confront you. It will challenge your comfort. It will shake the stories you've built your identity on. But it will also show you who you were before the world told you who to be. That's where discipline comes in. Alignment is not maintained through motivation. It is maintained through repetition. Through the daily choice to live in accordance with what is true, not what is easy. Discipline is the structure that protects alignment. Without it, clarity leaks. Without it, purpose becomes fragile. Every time you keep your word to yourself, every time you follow through when it's inconvenient, every time you stay rooted when your feelings pull you elsewhere, you strengthen the alignment between your values and your actions. But here's the part most people avoid. To align with your purpose, you must detach, not from life, not from people, but from outcomes. You must be willing to do the work without being controlled by the result. Detachment is not a lack of care. It's a refusal to be owned by your desires. When you are attached to outcomes, you will abandon your values the moment results delay. You will compromise the process to rush the destination. But when you're detached, your power becomes unshakable. You don't perform for approval. You don't chase applause. You move because it's who you are, not because of what you get. This is the essence of chosen ones. They don't live to impress. They live to express. They are not driven by fear of being behind. They are pulled by a deeper sense of timing, a rhythm that doesn't always make sense to the world. That rhythm can only be heard in silence, it can only be followed with discipline, and it can only be sustained through detachment. This is how alignment is not just felt, it's lived. And living in alignment means that you start operating with a different level of clarity. You no longer chase everything. You start choosing what matches your purpose. You say no with ease. You let go with peace. You wait with calm. You act with confidence. You speak less, but when you speak, it carries weight. You no longer need to convince anyone because your presence becomes the message. When you're aligned, pressure doesn't shake you, it sharpens you. Delay doesn't distract you, it deepens you. Criticism doesn't break you, it clarifies you. Because you're not reacting to the world, you're responding from within. That's what makes the chosen different. They don't get their direction from the crowd, they get it from stillness, from daily alignment. From remembering who they are and refusing to betray that, no matter the cost. Many people ask, how do I find my purpose? But the real question is, are you willing to remove what's blocking it? Are you willing to choose silence when distraction is easier? Are you willing to build discipline when giving up is justified? Are you willing to detach from the outcome so you can stay loyal to the process? Because that is where purpose stops being an idea and starts becoming a lifestyle. You are not waiting on the future is waiting on your readiness. Most people live in a constant state of waiting, waiting for the perfect timing, waiting for more clarity, waiting for external validation, waiting for the fear to disappear. But the truth is, the next level of your life is already prepared. What's missing is not the opportunity, not the breakthrough, not the right moment, it's your readiness to receive and sustain it. Life doesn't delay blessings out of cruelty. It delays them out of wisdom, because what you're not prepared for, you will sabotage the moment you touch it. Readiness is not about appearances. It's not about looking like you're grinding or acting like you're focused. It's about internal stability. It's about emotional maturity. It's about having the character to carry the weight of the future you keep asking for. The chosen ones understand that asking for more without preparing for more is a form of self-sabotage. They don't beg the future to come faster. They build themselves into a version that can step into it fully without crumbling. Most people believe they are stuck because nothing is changing outside. But what's really happening is that life is waiting for them to change inside. The door doesn't open just because you knock. It opens when you've become the kind of person who can walk through it without falling apart. Until then, delay is not punishment, it is protection. There's no point in entering a room you're not strong enough to stand in. There's no purpose in receiving what you cannot respect. The future is not a prize. It is a mirror, and it reflects your level of readiness with ruthless accuracy. If your dream requires discipline, but you live in distraction, you're not ready. If your vision demands consistency, but you're driven by emotion, you're not ready. If your calling needs focus, but you keep entertaining every fear, every doubt, every opinion, you're not ready. Readiness is not declared, it is demonstrated. It's in your habits, it's in your mindset, it's in the way you respond to silence, to rejection, to pressure. Those are the places where life tests whether you're ready for more, and when you are truly ready, something shifts. You stop chasing the future like it's something far away. You begin to embody the energy of it now. You make decisions today that echo the person you claim to be becoming. You walk with the posture of someone who already belongs in the next season, not because you're faking it, but because you've trained for it. You've shown up in secret. You've been faithful in private. You've mastered the small before demanding the big. The chosen ones are not waiting for the future to hand them a crown. They are busy building the inner throne that can hold it, because they know that pressure always comes before promotion. That silence always comes before revelation. That obscurity is not a punishment, it is preparation. And when life sees that you are stable in the quiet, that you're consistent without recognition, that you're grounded without applause, the shift begins. But let's be honest, most people don't want to hear this. They want shortcuts. They want a fast track to results without internal restructuring. They want the platform without the preparation. But what they fail to understand is that whatever you receive unprepared will expose you. It won't elevate you, it will crush you. The spotlight will show every crack you ignored in the dark. That's why readiness matters. That's why the future won't show up just because you want it. It waits until you're forged by time, sharpened by discipline, and refined by solitude. Readiness doesn't mean you feel fearless. It means fear no longer controls your decisions. It means your identity is rooted, not floating in insecurity. It means your values are clear, your habits are aligned, and your emotions no longer hijack your mission. This kind of inner preparation cannot be faked. It must be built day by day, moment by moment, and the longer you delay becoming ready, the longer you delay everything connected to your purpose. There is no cosmic delay. There is only misalignment between who you are and who you're required to be to hold what you've asked for. The future isn't hiding from you. It's simply positioned in a higher place, a place that requires a different version of you to reach it. So stop waiting, start becoming, because the future you want is already present. The question is whether you are. The path is not revealed before you walk, it appears as you move forward. This is where many people hesitate, stuck in the illusion that clarity must come before action. They wait for signs, for confirmations, for guarantees that don't exist. But the chosen ones understand something deeper. Movement creates direction. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the next step with full commitment. Because it's in motion that the hidden pieces of the journey begin to unfold. There is a silent trap in overthinking, a paralysis that comes from trying to figure out every detail before you begin. But life was never designed to be fully predictable. It responds not to analysis, but to boldness. When you walk in uncertainty with purpose, the next step starts to build itself beneath your feet. That's how the chosen operate. They don't wait for everything to make sense. They move with a sense of knowing that doesn't come from sight, it comes from alignment. You will never be fully ready. The path will never be fully lit. If you keep waiting for a moment where there is no fear, no risk, no chance of failure, you'll be stuck forever. Chosen ones know that hesitation is the enemy of elevation, and so they begin before they're comfortable. They act before they're affirmed, because they've learned that movement is the proof of faith. That action is the voice that tells the world, I may not know what's next, but I refuse to stay here. And as they move, something powerful begins to happen. The fog lifts not all at once, but enough to show the next few steps. People show up, resources appear, strength that was hidden suddenly rises, but none of it would have emerged had they waited. That's the paradox of the path. It only shows up for those willing to walk blindly, with faith as their compass. You cannot plan divine timing. You cannot schedule your becoming. You must move and trust that what you need will rise to meet you. The reason most never discover their path is because they want it to be safe. They want to see the entire picture before committing to the first brushstroke. But purpose doesn't work like that. It's not a map. It's a conversation, one that deepens with every courageous step. And sometimes you'll take steps that feel wrong. You'll walk into silence, you'll face resistance, but even those moments are part of the path. Nothing is wasted for the one who keeps moving. Movement builds resilience, it creates rhythm, it reveals where your real strength lies. It teaches you to trust your inner compass more than external opinions, because the more you walk, the more you learn, not just about where you're going, but about who you are. Each decision, each risk, each setback becomes a shaping tool. That's why the chosen don't just seek results, they seek refinement. They know that every step, whether forward or sideways, is part of becoming who they were born to be. Some people will mock your movement. They will question your direction because they don't understand your path, but that's because it's not the asterisk path, it's your asterisk path, and paths built by alignment don't need outside validation, they need internal conviction. So you keep walking, not because it's clear, not because it's easy, but because something deep inside you refuses to stay still when you know you were meant to rise. You will not discover your full capacity by sitting in safety. The strength you need, the identity you're searching for, the clarity you crave, it's all waiting on the path, and the path isn't in front of you, it's beneath your next step. That's why the chosen move different. They move when it's dark, they move when it's lonely, they move when it hurts, because they know the light is not at the end of the tunnel, it's built inside those who keep walking through it. Don't let fear convince you that not knowing is a weakness. It's not, it's part of the design. You're not supposed to know everything yet because you haven't become the version of yourself that can handle that knowledge. That version is built in the process. The wisdom comes in motion. The power comes in progress. The path doesn't become visible by watching. It becomes real when you walk. And so, wherever you stand right now, whether in clarity or confusion, strength or struggle, understand this: you were never meant to stay still. Life has already marked you. The delays, the detours, the silence. It wasn't rejection, it was refinement. You are not being held back, you are being positioned. And everything you need to step into the next chapter is already inside you, waiting to be activated through courage, through consistency, through quiet obedience to what you know is right. The chosen are not waiting for the world to change. They become the change. They don't wait for signs. They become the signal. So move forward. Not because everything makes sense, but because everything within you refuses to stay the same. Your future is not a distant possibility. It is a present responsibility. The path is already beneath your feet. All that's left is for you to walk it.